we decided last week that we would talk about the books that have been on our bedside table or at hand that we've been devouring lately. And we thought we'd just share those titles and maybe dive into one in a bit more detail. Is that right?
Yeah, I reckon so. When we talked about doing this, I was like, I have a lot of unfinished books. I have a tendency to pick up a lot of things at the same time. And so I can be a little bit slow. And I was like, this is very ADHD of me. But I've grabbed 3 of my unfinished reads and 1 that I've finished that I loved. So yeah, I think we'll kind of briefly go over a couple of them. Some of them, you know, I think they're actually all really midlife relevant, which I'm excited about. But yeah, who wants to start? How do we want to start?
Well, why don't you start? Alex has just said she's currently reading 7 books.
Oh, that makes me feel better, Alex.
Yeah, she's got it going on. I know. What is it about our brains where we go, no, can't do one at a time? We have to have a few on the go.
Depends on your mood, like I've got a fiction, I've got a nonfiction, I've got another nonfiction, and it's like, what mood am I in today?
Yeah.
So anyway, I've brought 4. I've brought 4 to this little show and tell.
What are they?
I'm just gonna get into it.
Yep.
So this one is called Vianne by Joanne Harris. Did you ever read the book or watch the movie Chocolat?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is like the prequel to that. And that was one of my favorite books. I mean, it's not like that was, gosh, that was written, that's probably from the 90s. This is 2025, so this is new. But I found it just like on sale at Target. And I was like, oh my God, I love Joanne Harris. I've read a bunch of her books and Chocolat was one of my favorites. I think the French theme really spoke to me. And is it French or is it Italian? Actually, I'm not even sure, but chocolat is French. Anyway, so I am reading this at the moment. As you can see, I am not finished, but I'm loving it. It's got a little bit of that magical sort of flavor of her other books. So loving that. I am reading Rest is Resistance by Tricia Hersey. So a lot of people know the Nap Ministry on Instagram, and that's Tricia's Instagram. And this is really about rest being resistance against all the things that our society is built on, capitalism, white supremacy, all the things. And so this is a really good book. I'm finding that, like, it's not a very long book, confronting in some ways, but very good. So that's the other one of the other ones.
Erica, sorry, before you move on.
Yes.
Why that title? Rest is resistance?
Resistance. So resistance being like, well, why don't I just read you the blurb? So what would it be like to live in a well-rested world? For far too many of us have claimed productivity as the cornerstone of success.
Amen.
Brainwashed by capitalism, we subject our bodies and minds to work at an unrealistic, damaging, and machine-level pace. Enough. The systems cannot have us. And then she keeps going. But basically it's that. It's resistance against the systems that will have us believe that we are machines. And she speaks a lot about, slavery in the world of the Black community. And so that's what I mean when I say, like, some of it is really confronting, particularly, to recognize the complicity of the white person in that. But yeah, resistance against systems, resistance against saying, like, I'm not going to be a cog in a machine for the benefit of the billionaires kind of thing. So yeah,
love that. I think I might add that to my reading list for.
And it's not chunky, like it's not a very big book. Still taking my time, but very good. Unmasking Autism. Yeah. So I'm partway. This is probably my one that I keep picking up at the moment, although still again a bit slow going because I'm feeling very ADHD at the moment. Very but as you know, I was diagnosed autistic earlier this year, autistic ADHD, and scored very highly as a highly masked autistic, which
Oh,
basically
funny.
means that I'm very good at
Mm,
appearing normal,
mm.
or whatever that is. I'm appearing
Whatever
sort of
normal is. Yeah, yeah.
neurotypical, whatever that is. And so a huge part of what I've been sort of trying to do, I guess, since that diagnosis is discover more of like my authenticity. And so, yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to help. And so far, I'm very much enjoying it. So I feel like this is a little bit of like something as resistance as well.
Mm.
And then my fourth book, this is fiction, but it's called The Angry Women's Choir. It's
Love
fucking
that
fabulous.
type.
I love it. So I've read this one. This one's finished. But it is so good. It's not new. I mean, I remember when it came out and it was really popular at the time, and then I didn't read it until a little bit later, 2022. So it's not old, but it's not brand new. So the author's Meg Bignell, and it's set in Tasmania. And it's basically about a group of women who have a choir and they're angry. They're angry about various things. You know, there's a cheating husband and there's lost love and there's children with some mental health challenges and things like that. And so it's just beautiful, and it's women of all sort of different ages. So, I think there's, a woman and illness as well. So cancer as well. So there's like all of this stuff, all this life stuff going on, but these women come together to sing, and that's their way of processing and finding joy and supporting each other. And it gives me goosebumps. I loved it so much. It was really such a good book. A lot of the characters in it were in midlife, and at all those various stages. And there's very much, what you've talked about with me a number of times, how you just give so many less fucks. And it was very much of that vein, like women sort of shedding those expectations, living their lives more loudly, living them more aligned with who they wanted to be. Um, yeah, I absolutely loved it, and I love that it was based in Australia, like it was, based in Tasmania, and I don't know that that always makes that much of a difference to my reading experience, but this time it really did, and I just adored it. So, um, yeah, I highly recommend if you're a fiction reader, and you haven't read it, um, it was just so good. Where do you
Sounds
sign up,
wonderful.
Alex? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Do they have an
And
in
they
real life choir, I wonder, somewhere that is
I
kind of
wonder
like that?
too, and it's interesting because they, excuse me, I have got a little bit of a cough. They talked about COVID in it as well, so it was, published in 2022 or whatever, and sort of talked about the disruption of COVID and all of that stuff too. So it felt very relevant, very kind of current, and really spoke to some of those like internal battles that we experience and how they can be shared with other women. Um, but it didn't just explore like the positive side of that, it kind of explored the dark side of that too. So it was just very well rounded. I really, really liked it.
Sounds great. Alex wants to start that choir. I wonder if we did a ring around, maybe we could do a Zoom choir call once
I
a
can't sing.
quarter.
I can't sing. I can't sing.
Doesn't matter. It's not about keeping tone. Sounds like it's about self-expression and,
Yeah,
telling your story and getting it out there and coming together.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think when you said that, I'm like, that's the theme actually between all of these books. There's something about all of these books, even this other fiction one that I mentioned, all of them have been very much of that ilk, of like reclaiming authenticity, reclaiming things that are like, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is who I am. So I hadn't actually really recognized that, but that's very indicative of, I guess, where I'm at, which is cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very cool. And I love that you're reading to support that part of your life, right?
Books are my favorite.
So good.
I've probably never taken you on a tour of my books, but I have hundreds of books. They are, one thing I just like, one of my kids the other day said to me, apparently a library, you need 1,000 books or something, or I can't remember what number he gave me, but it was like to count it as a library, it has to be that many. And he was like, do you think we have that many? And I was like, definitely.
Hell yeah.
Whatever the number was. I was like, I said, people come to my house to borrow books. Like, that's how many I have. So I love it. Reading's always been a huge part of of my life. I absolutely adore it. So,
Yeah, it's a great gift. I appreciate that. Coming from a house where reading was not something that I saw happen much, um, but I married into a family of voracious readers, and it's been the
Interesting.
wonderful gift to pass on to our children is that love of reading. And the same, like whenever we moved house, which was 13
Often.
times. Yeah. We had always the biggest load with the books. And I'd say to my husband, "Are you sure we need all of these? Like some of these you haven't read for like 10 years, 15 years. Come on. Can we let some of this go?" No, we don't let him go. And eventually he has, and he's gone to reading, on digitally now. But yeah, man, that they were always the lion's share of our move were the boxes. Oh,
Yes.
so I get that.
Yeah, I love that. There's just something very special about a physical book. I love it.
Yeah, physical book, absolutely. And that's my gift to my family this year. All the women in my life have received or will be receiving
I
this
hope they're not
book.
watching. Are we doing spoilers?
I don't care. Look, because it's what you read, right? So
Yes,
it's
true.
the joy is in the
Act
content.
surprised. Act surprised.
Act surprised. This book, I didn't mean to be color coordinated with the book,
Love
but
that.
this one, it's more of a ready reference because, yes, she's a big one, but check out the title, Hormone and Harmony. So this is written by a friend of the podcast, Dr. Karen Coates, who's here on the Gold Coast in Australia, and her very best friend, Sharon Kolker. And Sharon's been in the wellness industry for bazillion years as well. So these women combined bring something like 30 plus years of wisdom and knowledge about the female body and health and wellness to us in this wonderful gift. And it is a gift, this book. I highly recommend it. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is, but it's a ready reference. So what they do is they take us on our journey from puberty all the way through to the postmenopause years. And I love it because it gives me insights as to how my body works. And if there's nothing else I want to encourage us all to do is to understand how our amazing bodies work. Now, I know that's a lifelong study. Oh, low power mode. I hope I don't move. Haven't got my charge here. Hope I don't lose us. But it's a gift in that regard. We learn more about our bodies through this book. And also there's some handy how to help in there as well. So what to take, what to do to improve that. And drum roll, I love there's a big bone health section. You know how I'm all about the bone health. And in there, she talks about, and I never knew this, I swear I never knew this, she talks about REMS.
Oh, amazing.
REMS ultrasound for bone health. So yay, Dr. Karen.
That's
And
cool.
she also talks about the Liftmore trials, clinical trials that Professor Belinda Beck did too, which has changed the whole landscape on what we should do for bone health as we age. So yeah, that is my go-to. That is the one that I've deep dived into. I still haven't finished it, but it's one of those ones where I go, I'm going to read that bit and then I'm going to jump over here because they do that in the book. They reference you to other areas that, relate to the topic. So
that's cool.
Awesome book.
So can I ask you a quick question? Because that's been on my radar. I keep seeing it pop up on my LinkedIn and whatnot. It's very new, isn't it? Like it's only just come
very
out.
new. Yeah, a couple of weeks.
So me as a premenopausal, perimenopausal woman, it's going to give me tips for like how to be managing my hormones between now and okay, cool.
Big time. Yeah. And then, looking forward, like we always do, what do you want to do for future you? It's all about that as well. What can we do now to set us up for, living vitally in our, up to 100. So, and beyond, whatever we want to do, but it's all about living well. Yeah, that's right. All the way through.
Cool.
So absolutely there's tips in there for you coming into perimenopause for sure.
Love that. Now I know, like me, you've got an ADHD pile of things that
I grabbed four. Actually, I grabbed five. Tell a lie. So that's my stash, and we've already talked about one. This one I haven't dived into too much yet, Next of Kin by Casey Barros is about her being a carer for her dad who was dying of cancer, and that whole journey. So, yeah, diving into that, and there's a theme with what I'm reading here too. The other book, and Alex and I spoke about this the other day, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. Again, I'm probably a quarter of the way into that.
Yep.
It's not a particularly light read, and the text is tiny, so that will take a while. But again, I just sip on it. I sip from this book. So I love it because again, it's the Buddhist perspective on things, and it really does give me a totally different lens through which to think about death and dying. And as we've spoken about death before on this podcast, it's a topic that I want to blow up even more and more. You know, we need to talk about death more as a culture. And so that's that book there on that topic. That is also a passion of mine. This one I did finish and I absolutely loved. This book, 12 Golden Gifts by Spiri Sinrizas, and I'm sorry if I've mispronounced her beautiful Greek name. Aussie girl, Greek parents, talks about the journey she had with her mother who got Alzheimer's. That was her dementia. And she kind of takes you through that whole journey, which again is beautiful. It is from the pre-dementia days through to the final days. Talks about her death and how that went down. And her mum also broke her hip and ended up in a care home because she couldn't move much in the end. And as I was reading this, because, you know, we've both been through this journey quite differently, but we've been there, and I nodded at so many times going, yes, Spiri, this was my experience too. So if you're curious about dementia and how that might unfold, particularly with Alzheimer's, because different dementias will have very different paths and experiences, and also individually we will experience things differently. But the other thing that's fascinating with this for me is that what happened to her mum is very typical for us women in midlife and as we age. So breaking her hip, very common. Dying within 12 months of breaking her hip, very common. She fell into getting Alzheimer's at the age that she did. You know, it's the number one killer of women and men now in Australia. So this book, I don't think she really meant it in that regard, but because I'm more familiar with some of those stats, her mum was right on there with stats. You know, that's how it played out. I love it's about a real life example, and there's a lot of great, thoughtful, compassionate insights and helpful tips and resources as well in here. So another great
So
book.
it's nonfiction, obviously. It's like written like a nonfiction book.
Yeah. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of my books.
All of them.
books. And
You're
they're
in a
all
landing
about
phase. Yes.
they're all about most of them, with the exception of Hormone Harmony, are about dementia and death. So that's my theme. And then there's this one, and I bring it to you with a big, big smile. I love what Emma has done for dementia, and in particular frontotemporal dementia. The Unexpected Journey. Emma Hemming Willis is Bruce Willis's wife, and Bruce has frontotemporal dementia, slightly different form than what our parents, though could have been more similar to your mum's actually, because she had the language thing going on, didn't she? Yeah, that was what went for Bruce first too, was my dad's was very much the physical degradation in all of that. But it's a beautifully written book. And again, from the perspective of the carer, what to do to look after yourself, the journey of a carer, looking after someone with dementia. And it's written from the heart. Again, lots of insights, conversations with others as well. You know, Robin Williams died of Parkinson's and not Parkinson's, Lewy body dementia. They since discovered. So there's a lot of things in this book, and again, written with great compassion. And I love that. You know, she really wants to enlighten us about this world of dementia, in particular frontotemporal dementia. And, you know, they've got 2 young girls. So in her journey, it's been friggin' hard. You know, she's losing Bruce. She's got 2 young girls, sort of 8 and 10 or something at the time of writing this, trying to bring them along and shield them at the same time and parent them. Yeah, it's a really beautifully written book. And again, she's doing so much positive work in this space to bring awareness to it. And again, to help us all on that journey because, yeah, at some point we will be carers for somebody that we love. You know, it's just, for most of us, that's what's going to happen. So they're my Fab 5. Yeah, with a definite theme in there of
Yes.
dementia and death. But from a carer's perspective, in 3 out of 3 of those books is very much the carer's perspective. Yeah.
Yes. It is interesting, isn't it? As I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, I'm not going to read any of those right now. That
Yeah.
feels not something that I could dip into at the moment. And it's fascinating, isn't it? Because it's like we've been through a similar thing in a lot of ways, and then in a lot of ways they've been quite different. But even though this is not the topic that we're talking about, but you know, I think it's worth pointing out that I think we have to be very mindful of where we are, you know. Yeah, I don't know that I have much to say about that, but it's just like we've really got to lean into that, what we need at any given point. And it's remarkable how it can be very different. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, they sound like amazing books. I just know that my head's not in the right place for it. But yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love that we both brought in multiple.
I know. There's something about that, right? Alex Winsworth herself, of course.
Alex Winsworth.
Yeah. I couldn't bring up, well, you know, it depends how far back you want to go, right? But
well, exactly.
as in the
I could have brought you dozens.
then. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's all very good. So yeah, I think what we should do is in the show notes, I'll put links to all of these books. And I'm sure some of the authors are even here on Substack somewhere as well. So we'll reach out to them with a big thank you for doing what they do as well, with the gifts that they share and the insights that they have shared with all of us. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much a wrap. What do you think, Eric?
I think so. I know you were running on low power mode and high pain, back pain mode. So I think we're good.
I think we're good. Yeah, we'll be back next week with another topic. We've got to work out what that is yet, but I've got a few ideas.
You have suggestions?
Yeah, suggestions. Let us know. Let us know. And with Christmas coming up, you know, there might be some things we can do around that too, taking a break over Christmas, looking after ourselves. So there's all of that to consider because, my goodness, it's the 1st of December here in Australia already, and that means the first day of summer.
It's 13 degrees in Melbourne.
You're kidding.
I wish I was kidding. It has been pouring with rain. It's quite dark. And my app said 13 degrees feels like 7 degrees. I had my puffer jacket on this morning for my walk. It's freaking cold.
I'm on the verge of putting the aircon on.
I have the heater on.
Your heater is on. We have been like 30 plus degrees for the last 4 or 5 days, maybe more. So we are well and truly in summer mode here. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be 30 on Wednesday here. So talk about contrasts.
Gotta love the Melbourne weather.
We live in Melbourne. We choose this.
Very good. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. As Erica said, if you've got any suggestions for what we should have a chat about for Midlife Unfiltered, do pop a comment in and let us know. Send us an email. We are at hello@midlifeunfiltered.com.au. We would love to hear from you. And please share this episode. If you're thinking of what to get somebody you love in midlife for Christmas, maybe there's one of those books that you could slide under their tree for them. So hopefully that gives people some insights as to what might light their fire, because that's where you are. Put the aircon on where I am and make them feel comfortable and nourished, this time of year. So thank you.
I hope you feel better as the day goes on, Anita.
I do. I will. I'll work on that. No worries. And I promise I won't go too hard, too fast. Promise.
Good girl.
Great. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. See you next time.
Soon.
Bye.